Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodger, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast. Hello and welcome to another reaction episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this afternoon, this evening, whatever time of day you want to call it, is a man who just likes it when it rains, Jacob.
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man who just had to run away to Tokyo and ran into a weather witch. Welcome, Drew.
Boy, that would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. For those of you curious as to why our audio quality seems to have dipped, that's because we are currently recording on a pocket recorder as we drive to the movie theater.
Yeah.
And we are
a little different.
Right, because the only theater that was playing this one is about half an hour away from us, and we didn't want to, at least on the trip back, go bonkers trying not to geek out about the movie.
Yeah, true.
For the half hour it would take to get back. So we're trying this just for a different sake.
Yeah.
So yeah. This movie we're going to go see, Weathering with You, is directed by, I'm probably going to mess the name up, Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Who previously directed the movie Your Name, which we previously reviewed.
Yes.
You would agree that's 9/10 of the reason we decided to go ahead and go watch this movie?
Pretty much.
Despite the fact it has gotten amazing reviews.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just looking at the review scores I saw today on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. The fact that this movie, like, there again, with the director's caliber of art, is so tremendous. It's just it's art candy. Just be like, you just want to gobble up every scene.
Yeah.
And the clips we've seen of Weathering with You is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And now, granted, we don't barely know anything about the film, anything about the film's plot. We know a little bit about, why one of our characters he moves to Tokyo, kind of the reverse of what Your Name did.
Yeah.
And that's all we know. And all we know is this girl has weather powers. She's a witch or something like that. Can't really explain it.
She's got weather powers.
She has weather powers. She's Storm from X-Men.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. She's Japanese Storm.
Yeah. But
sure, there's another name for a character of Asian descent who has weather powers,
yeah.
but
I am not that big of an otaku, so I don't know all those definitions.
I don't either. It's just like, okay, she's got weather powers.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear a word that describes what she is tonight besides
absolutely.
the Weather Maiden.
Yeah. But
which is still an odd term, but it's like, okay, I kind of like the title.
Yeah, it's an interesting title. I think expectations for this film is you're kind of expecting not the same thing that
mm-hmm. Your
Name had, animation-wise, obviously, but don't know really much more about the story. It'd be like I could speculate or hyper-speculate from here and there, but I know it's going to be more romantic, like a more...
Yeah.
Lovers and
unlike Your Name, where the characters did not meet until one certain part of it directly, these characters will actually meet each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And be together for most of the movie, one would assume.
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sorry, traffic is funky tonight.
Yeah, it is raining after all.
Well, not really raining now. It's misting and anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of apropos, considering what we're about to go watch.
Yeah, this is kind of ironic.
So,
it's at least.
we're coming out of town finally.
Yes, we
so
are.
Traffic's going to get better here in a minute.
Yeah.
One hopes.
Yeah. So, the expectation of this film that there again, the animation is going to be amazing. Story we really don't know about.
Yeah.
And
well, we know the music is once again being composed by Radwimps, who did the music for Your Name.
Yeah, and I heard a little snippet of it before I left
so
the house.
that sounds like it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Curious if he's going to put it in English again, like he did with Your Name, or if it's just going to be the Japanese lyrics again.
Huh.
But either way, I can work with it either way. Honestly, I'm not sure what else to talk about before we go into it, because I think we're both just really excited to see the movie.
Yeah.
So, unless you've got something else to bring up, we can go ahead and pause it here.
The only thing I can think of is that trying not to compare this film to Your Name.
That's going to be tough, I'll admit.
That is going to be extremely hard. And it's just trying to go at the movie with an open-minded and just having no real expectation for the film.
Yeah.
Except really good animation. And see how the story plays out. So yeah, that's the only thing I really have.
So I have one other question for you, since this is the first time I think this has ever come up for us.
Okay.
Have you ever watched an anime movie in theaters before?
No, I haven't.
Not even a Digimon or a Pokemon back in the day?
No.
Okay. This is probably the seventh or eighth. I've seen a couple in theaters. Okay. The only one I saw during a theatrical run was Ponyo, back when Disney did that first release, and then I've seen a couple other of these Fathom events.
Yeah.
Mostly the Studio Ghibli stuff, and then of course there was Broly last year, around this time last year actually.
Well, wouldn't Transformers count?
Kind of. I mean, the show and the movie was made with the American audience in mind, but it was completely done in Japan.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it comes down to what your actual definition for anime is.
Right.
I'm not going to.
Truck passes.
Yeah, well, wait a second. I'm not going to say Transformers, the movie was not anime, but it is the most Western anime out there, outside of perhaps, say, I can't think of the name of that show. Samurai Champloo, I think.
Oh, okay. Or
perhaps the second season of the Boondocks, which was animated by, is it Mad Men?
I have no idea.
Madhouse.
There we go.
Madhouse, but that was completely made for an American audience. But I don't know. I just was curious because I didn't know if you'd actually seen an anime movie in theaters.
Nope.
All right. So
this is going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. And we are, just for clarification's sake, the tickets we bought are for the English dub. You can call us horrible non-anime fans if you want. We don't care. We like to be able to... Admittedly, I have nothing wrong with reading.
And some of us have the attention span of a squirrel.
Well,
me.
And even under normal circumstances, if you're not used to reading subtitles, it can be tough.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So this should be... we are doing it that way simply for sake of ease for both of us.
Yes.
Of course, I still haven't watched Your Name in Japanese, so I don't really know if that's comes out any better. But anyway.
Yeah, we're not purists, like some people want to call it.
From what I hear, what I heard of the English dub in the trailer, I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because it looked like we had some pretty decent actors in it.
Yeah, it sounded good. It'd be like, the role sounded pretty good.
Well, we're going to stop it here for now. We'll catch you after the movie, and we'll let you know what our reactions on that were.
See you on the flip side.
So we just got out of the movie. We're going to give you a quick spoiler-free review and then geek out for a couple minutes.
All right.
You first.
All right. So, to quote a Disney film, let the storm rage on. This was a fantastic movie. Oh my gosh.
It's one of the... I have never seen Rain animated so beautifully.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean the cat. Oh my, this is such a good movie. I'm not going to say it's better than Your Name.
It's a very tight second.
But it is very, very close.
Yeah.
The fact that this is not up for an Academy Award, I think is a shame.
Agreed. Completely agreed.
Yeah. If you want to know whether or not you want to see this movie,
No pun intended.
yeah, you need to go see this movie. This is an excellent, excellent movie.
Agreed.
So, those of you who don't want to be spoiled, which I highly suggest, go ahead and turn the podcast off now, because we're about to spoil this thing.
Yeah. Either most likely it'll probably come on digital and DVD, Blu-ray.
I haven't heard when it's coming out.
Yeah, it'll probably be out shortly after this.
Yeah, I would assume. But you need to pick it up, is what we're trying to say.
Strongly suggest.
Right.
If you are a fan of Your Name, or any of the
Makoto Shinkai is the director.
If you're a fan of his stuff,
just a fan of good anime movies.
Exactly. Or general movie
animation
movies.
In general.
Yes.
Yeah. This is an excellent movie. This is a beautiful movie, and I absolutely love it. I will be pre-ordering this as soon as I can.
Probably same here.
So, we're not going to go ahead and go and spoil it. So, what did you think?
Oh, let me count the raindrops.
That'd be a little tough with this movie.
Yeah, that would. The animation in this movie, there again, is phenomenal. The story of our two characters, and do you remember their names?
Hina and Hotaka.
Yeah, Hina and Hotaka. Be like the fact that you have this sunshine girl.
Yes.
Who has the ability to make the rain stop.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it leads to her disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Hotaka's his obsession to find her and bring her back, no matter if the rain continues or not. He's gonna find her again, and yet he does. And then we are left at the very end of the movie that there is still rain, but their relationship is still there.
Yeah.
Really, it's just very much of a boy and girl who fall in love, and they get to know each other, and they wind up going on the run from the police.
Yeah.
From different circumstances that happen, and it's such an incredible. It's a very powerful romantic story of two people falling in love and the unwillingness to let go of the almost impossibility of something to be basically never giving up on the one you love, on that girl or guy that you not saying obsession about stuff, but be like one you are truly in love with. Be like you're never gonna stop chasing her, or him, and this is a keystone in that kind of relationship. That be like you never want to give up on that person you love, and you go to any length to do that. And Hotaka does that. Yeah, and it's so powerful the fact that he gives up everything to find her, and he does. And just going
doing the one thing he swore he would not do, and that is return home. Yeah, and he still at the end of it, he had to return home.
Yeah, he had to. But the cast in this the cast of characters in this movie is so phenomenal, including Rain the cat. Yes, that little kitty cat is just he's a little minor character, but he's such the coolest little thing. He's not in every scene, but he's in a lot of scenes. And he's so just a little fun little kitty cat. Yes. Who by the end of the movie is this big chubby little furball.
Oh yes, he chonks. He becomes a chonker. Yes. By the end of this thing.
You have amazing support cast. Yeah. There again, animation. Oh my god.
Good night. This is some of the best water animation in 2D I have ever seen.
And the fact to be so much detail into everything. Yes. There some of the previews that we were getting beforehand. I was like, okay, animation's pretty good. Animation's okay.
But then you're looking at going, the amount of water in this movie is enormous. Yeah. And it's all animated beautifully. There is not a shortcut taken with water anywhere in this. Yeah. The transparencies you see through glass and through the transparent umbrellas and, with the water itself is so well done. This must have taken forever to draw.
It took 2 years to do it.
It took 2 years is pretty good for a animation.
That's a short time to
Right.
do an animation film.
It was very short. And part of that I can tell is that they used some CG for some cost-cutting measures for
Oh,
the
yeah.
better
But
shots.
it's done
But it's
very
done
well.
so well. It's not done cheaply. You have perspective
Oh,
on
yeah.
scenes that you would normally not go to that much trouble for.
Oh yeah, and they
could
go the
easily-
extra length for everything. in the
Right.
film.
And it's like, you did this in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's freaking amazing.
For how big of a team did you have? That's the thing, and it's like
Good night.
during the the extra credit features, be like, oh, building this team, like how many people did you have on this team? Good night.
And before we get too far, I have to point out that the 2 best cameos in
yes.
this movie that I was not expecting to see, the characters from Your Name are in this movie. I'm like, she's over there. You go over there. You couldn't find him last movie. He's over there. Go talk to the old lady.
But there again, this movie is fantastic. It's got this just because walking out of the theater, the idea of like, man, if I was in a relationship with a woman, relationship with a girl, I would be like this is so much of a date movie.
Oh, yes.
A date movie, bring your girlfriend, bring your boyfriend, whatever, and be like, now, granted, it's gonna come to Blu-ray, DVD, and digital at some point.
But this is still
it's a good date
movie.
It is a sweet movie. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Can't believe how good this movie actually is.
Oh yeah.
I was going into thinking, okay, it's going to be like Your Name.
Yeah.
And Your Name did blow me out of the water the first time I saw it. But this, whereas Your Name frustrated me to the point because it did not end as correctly as I would have liked.
Okay.
And that kind of, especially during those scenes where you, hang on. What is going on?
It's a car.
They're lined up over there.
Well, it's just
Okay.
they're parked.
Okay, we'll just move on.
Yeah. Either way.
When I finished Your Name, I was still kind of working through some of the sadness from the last couple scenes and the bit of glee and joy you get as they're finally coming up to the end of that movie and finally say the name of the movie. This one, it's like, it was joy from the minute he got back to Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
And went all the way to finally seeing her. It's like, everything is back. You didn't sacrifice her. She's still around.
Yeah, you brought her back.
And you are going to, and you know they're going to meet.
Oh,
and they don't end as like, excuse me, but they actually, the ending is much better.
Yes,
is what I'm trying
agree.
to say. And I'm not saying the ending of Your Name was bad.
It left you on this big cliffhanger.
Yes.
This one, it leaves you with a solid,
They finally got together
again.
Right. Can I just talk about how much I love her little brother?
Oh, good night. He is such a playboy.
There is that, but at the same time, apparently the first girl we see him with was his ex, according to the end of the movie.
Oh gosh.
And they're still on such good terms that she's willing to help him with this thing.
Yeah, and be like, even to the point, be like, oh, we're gonna change. We're gonna, change outfits. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, and then the fact that throughout the movie, you think he's just going to be the antagonist, like, oh, you can't be with my sister.
Yeah, but
and
no,
he's actually the most helpful guy in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not, the only antagonist here in this movie, I would say, outside of the giant weatherfish things,
right,
is probably the police.
Yeah.
And they're just doing their job.
Absolutely.
And I can't even get mad at them for that. It's just, this is I just love this movie. It was a very fun movie, and I absolutely enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Be like, hands down, it's an amazing film. I can't wait to see, because, granted, this is like the very start of 2020.
Yeah.
And, what movie is going to top this for 2020?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So tough that let's face it, this would have beat any movie at 2019 if the nominations had gone correctly at those Academy Awards. But hey,
right.
What do I know?
Yeah.
I just know I just saw a movie that topped Dragons 3 for me.
Ah.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Just
And Dragons 3 of the list was the one I thought was going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
Or one I think is going to get it. But this beat that out of the water, and I think it's... Admittedly, I think a lot of what ends up on that is because it's more family-friendly stuff, because, animation's for kids nonsense.
Yeah, true.
And this is not necessarily a family movie.
Yeah, not necessarily.
But it's still so well done. It's beautiful. I loved every minute of it, and I kind of didn't... I'm one of those weirdos who doesn't really get surprised at movies because I'm usually about 5 steps ahead and cackling along the way.
Yes.
I didn't have that problem this time.
Yeah,
I was right on. I was right there with the movie. I was tracking with it. I wasn't ahead. I wasn't behind. I was like, show me where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me where we're going.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You have me for this trip.
Okay, to a point when we're sitting in the theater and it stops, goes black screen for a second, and all I hear is for Drew say, "Wow."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, awesome. That is amazing. Absolutely incredible film.
Well, I was sitting there at that, if it's the scene I'm thinking of, I was going to go, okay, what's next? Because it's like, he gets caught by the police.
Oh, yeah?
He says, it never stopped raining in Tokyo to this day. It's been raining for 3 years. And it just goes black for a solid 15 to 30 seconds. I'm going,
this is not the end of the movie.
This can't be the end of the movie.
No.
There are no credits. You haven't brought credits up yet. You do something. You gotta do something because you're just sitting here. It's like,
don't pull your name.
And somebody accidentally unplugged the network cable upstairs, please.
Oh,
it's the bit of time you need to process what he just told you.
yes.
But in that bit of time, I was going, okay, so what happened? Because you're obviously the movie's not over. I can tell that because you didn't bring credits up.
Yeah.
And the lights aren't coming on in the auditorium. What's happening?
Yeah.
Why are you... That's the only weak point I would say in there.
Yeah.
Since I felt like it was just... It felt like dead air if it was radio.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing I can think of. It's not even a bad couple minutes because it gives you that bit of processing and the feeling that, okay, time is passing. Another 3 years.
Yeah, and also it allows the audience to catch their breath and to be...
Right, because this is a very...
in process.
For the past 15 to 20 minutes before that point, it was a non-stop thing from the police are at their hotel room, through him getting arrested, the kid, all that, him pulling the gun on them again. It's like, of course he found the gun that's still up there.
Oh, yeah.
No one goes into this abandoned building. Who knows why this abandoned building was never torn down in the year since she went up it the first time.
It's a portal. You have to keep it there.
I know, but it's just like logistically in a town the size of Tokyo.
You think they would have torn it down?
It would have torn down by now.
It was a dated ex machina.
Portal Ex Machina. Anyway.
Portal Ex Machina, thank you.
Shrine Ex Machina, because there was a shrine at the top of the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why is there a shrine at the top of the thing? That's not even a Shinto traditional shrine. That looked like it was made by a couple of 5-year-olds. Mostly because of the eggplant and cucumber animals sitting next to it.
Yes, I agree with that.
And the fact that the gate was made out of what looked like old pipe. But at the same time, it's like, my thought was, this is an odd building to still be here, not just after the 1 year.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was, after it apparently had crumbled some.
Yeah.
Since we were there at the second time we're there at the movie, where he leaves the gun there.
Yeah, it's decaying.
It's decaying, obviously. But even then, it's not, I understand it's not crumbled in on itself. It hadn't had that much time.
Yeah.
But it hadn't been condemned by the Japanese government and torn down to build another new skyscraper there.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's nothing. I'll admit this. My point is nothing. It's just a logistical thing that lodges in my mind and I have to work it out.
Right.
Anyway, I think we've about said what we need to say.
The movie is so well crafted and just beautifully executed. You have characters that you find yourself engaged with, and want to see that fulfillment of what's going to happen, and you're waiting with hanging breath, literally, to see what happens in the next turn. Be like you were literally, like you said earlier, be like you're clocking with the movie every second. It's like, what's going to be around the corner? What's going to encounter next? And it is, I don't want to say it's a thrill ride, but it's the perfect storm of a movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
All right. Well, where can they find you before we leave?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, and also on Facebook while there's someone revving their engine.
Go ahead.
All right. You can also find me on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw daily, and I do that relatively often. You can find me on Twitter at Jacob B. Heron, and you can find me on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. And yeah, I think that's primarily we can find me. Where can I find you, Drew?
You can also find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also follow my photo bin at Drew's Photo Bin. It's just a Facebook page that I go and post pictures on when I remember to. And you can follow me also on Letterboxd under at GGeorge759. And you can also follow me on Twitter at GGeorge759. You can follow both of us on our website at thecellcast.podbean.com. There you will find links to listen to all our episodes, including Your Name, which if you've not seen Your Name, you need to go see that too. And you can listen to us there on that website, or listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. Mm-hmm. And on that website, you will also find our RSS feed in order to load that into your podcast catcher of choice if we are not already on there. Please rate, review, and comment and subscribe on wherever you found us. And also email us at thecellcast.podbean.com. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. This is why we're going to write this out later.
Yeah.
Also, you can join our Facebook group, which is the Double Feature Podcast Community. We call it that because along with this podcast, we also are on another podcast that we're recording on tomorrow called the Movie of the Week podcast.
Right.
Where we review movies, live action movies, actually, and we do that with your brother Jim.
Yeah.
So, and remember, every time we have said the Cellcast, that is with a single L.
Yes.
Have I missed anything?
Twitter.
Oh yes, @cast_cell. We're going to get this written out eventually.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're working on it. So, I think that's going to be it.
I think so.
All right. So, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.